Hey, welcome back, YouTube viewers. Thanks a lot for tuning in again. I'm here with David Morgan from silverinvestor.com. David, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
And last time we were talking about, as someone who's been in the precious metals business for a while, what do you advocate in the hypothetical world of hyperinflation or potential devalued currency? What do you tell people out there how much should they invest in their nest egg? What should they do? How does precious metals fit into their portfolio?
Great question. In fact, that's probably one of the third most often asked questions that I get. I was asked that during going back to one of our other interviews about the investing rules book, and rule number 10 was, don't. So even though it's a good thing, you don't have to overdo it. And at that time, rule 10 was you should put about 10% of your net worth into investing in the precious metals. I didn't really mean silver, but was writing the rules of silver. But since that time, I've actually upped it. I was on stage several years ago before the war started, and I actually quoted one of the founding fathers about rumors of war, and I went through the whole quote, and I was forecasting accurately that I saw a war environment, and because of that and the general deterioration of what was going on in the financial structure on a global basis, that I felt 20% was probably, the right number. Now, there is no one size fits all. I think 10% is a minimum. Well, since those two periods of time, there's been a study performed by Ibbotson and Associates, and you can look them up on the internet. Ibbotson and Associates is out of Chicago. They do independent research. A good friend of mine in the bullion business, Mr. Nick Barashef, he's Canadian, he and I are pretty close, paid Ibbotson, not knowing the outcome, what is the correct amount to have in precious metals. And what they determined was between 7.1 and 15 point something.
Really? So
So it's right in between my 10 and 20%. So in a inflationary uncertainty type of environment, it went more toward the upper side of 15%, and it's a wonderful world no matter what, 7%. And what was interesting about these numbers was that those numbers always made a portfolio perform better than if you didn't have them in there.
wow.
So people that are anti-metal, or what good is gold, you hear that, what do I do with it, or how do I sell, all these negative connotations, so they don't know anything about it. But if they just want money, or they want to have a better portfolio than their brother, if they don't include the metals, they don't have as good a one, based on one of the best portfolio analyses ever done. So it comes back to physical, because this is based on real metal. It's only metal. It's not mining stocks. It's some of the stuff that I teach, which goes beyond metal. But always, state, get real, start real, begin with the physical metal. And I'll just hand it back to you, because I know that's where your heart and soul is. And I think it's the most important part, is to start in the physical realm. So why don't you just tell us, what do you plan to do besides these YouTube videos to get the nation to wake up?
Well, fortunately I'm not alone, and there's lots of folks out there that are waking up every day more and more, and they call me, and I don't have to preach to them. They know. They know. They read the papers. They understand. A lot of folks that we saw at the Phoenix Silver Conference were retired. Those tend to be the people who have money and time, and those people are wising up, and they're telling their sons and daughters, and they're trying to look out for their families. One thing that I realized when initially my wife and I were considering making an investment in silver is, well, how liquid is it? What do we do with it? If I have a slow month in my business and I need to sell some, what do I do? And I looked up, and there's hundreds, thousands of coin shops just in California. The town near where I live in Santa Barbara, California, is population 90,000. We have 5 coin shops. I have yet to go into one of those coin shops where they didn't say, hey, you got some silver, you want to sell it? And sometimes, like October of 2008, they didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it's good to have, because supply and demand is something that Wall Street can't play with.
Right. Well, back to the physical again, and keeping on this train of thought. Where do you sell it? One is, as you said, there's lots of coin shops.
Yes.
And usually if you build a rapport with a coin dealer such as yourself, that's normally a good place to do both, buy and sell back and forth. But there's so many areas, especially the internet. I mean, you can put it on eBay, you can put an ad in the paper. What most people don't know is the obvious. You can actually go into a jewelry store, because these people need precious metals.
That's right.
And say, you know what, I have got some gold and I'm hurting right now. I know it's 1,100 an ounce. You could use it in, you know, for a necklace or a ring or whatever. And a jeweler will buy it. I mean, there's several ways, but see, people are not accustomed to it. They're accustomed to this plastic credit system that didn't exist, you know, what, 30, 40 years ago, I guess. And now that's all they know. And so they're reluctant to go back to real money.
So there it is. Silver is liquid. Take it to any coin shop near you, take it to a jeweler, take it to any coin collector, and they can appreciate pure 999 silver bullion. It's not going away. It's not going to return to its intrinsic value like paper will, which is zero. David Morgan, thank you very much for joining us from silverinvestor.com. Some great information. I hope you folks listen and think about your future and your family's future.